we
Let's
begin. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Yep.
Kim?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, emotionally, no.
Emotionally. Why would you be emotionally invested in some words that I say?
Leave me alone.
That's a
Oh
loaded
my god.
question, Ben.
Light begins to creep above the horizon as you approach your destination of Windy Borough. While it's cold up at this altitude, the dragon generates heat like a comfortable stove, and its mane of fur curls around you in the wind. This dragon that you are apparently on friendly terms with. You all know about dragons. They are legendary, after all. Massively powerful in terms of sheer strength and magical ability, possible the species naturally closest to gods that live on this plane. Even a very young dragon is more than a match for most mortals, and the longer they live, the more powerful they become. You know they largely disappeared hundreds of years ago in the Great War against the demon overlords, sacrificing themselves in battle and joining their spirits to become the very real force behind the Silver Flame, the order that thought belongs to. You know that some remain, although their reasons vary. Some are good, that were either too young at the time, or just had other reasons to not be involved. Some were simply unwilling to die for the cause. Others actively worked against mortals on this plane, and continue to do so in the shadows, hoarding their treasure and expanding their territory if they feel bold enough. And now you ride one that you know personally back to his home, which you have once visited. You have all been in the air for hours now. How have you spent this time?
I don't know.
Like, what, doing anything, thinking, talking? What have you been up to? Like, it's been hours. Just a general idea of what you guys been up to on this dragon's back.
Nefmir's just been napping.
You've been napping. Okay. Anyone else?
Also, we hauled Lily up onto this dragon, right?
No, you intended to, and you were struggling,
Right.
and the dragon just took Lily,
Oh yeah.
and she is now riding gently in one of his claws.
You
Okay.
scared me for a second. I'm like, we just.
You attempted to, and you fucking left her behind.
I feel
Good
like
job,
I
idiots.
I have no idea. What are you supposed to do on a dragon?
Good question. That's why I'm asking.
You sleep. That's what.
Yeah.
Not really powerful Nefmir does. I'd still.
I think Lena's just kind of stewing in her thoughts and just kind of looking at the view.
There's more than one thought.
Stewing in my thoughts just doesn't have the same ring as crawling in my skin. Just gonna throw that out there.
And thought, are you stewing in your thoughts?
Doesn't have the same vibe either.
Nah.
No, he is thought.
Okay. What does thought do?
You know what he does.
What do you do?
I don't know. Can't pray for 2 straight hours. He wouldn't do that. So I
Fucking
guess
marathon prayer session.
it is night, and he'd probably be kind of tired. So maybe he's sleeping.
Yeah, I could say that for those of you who say you're napping, it's been a long day. It's been stressful. There's been some shit that's gone on. Mentally and physically exhausting. I could see you, conking out here and there, but ultimately, as warm and comforting a presence as the dragon may be, it's not the most comfortable sleeping position. Like, he is a moving creature that is flying. So you're getting rocked around all over the place, right? I'd say you can sleep off and on, but it's not like you're out like a light and then you wake up feeling refreshed, that sort of thing.
Right.
You're maybe nodding off here and there, and that sounds right after some shit. Um, and after a few hours of this, the dragon speaks suddenly, for the first time in these hours. He looks directly at the camera and says, "Happy birthday, Martin."
Oh no! Why would he do that?
And that's a little present for you.
Oh.
And he speaks up and says, "We will descend now. I must go quickly for fear of being spotted. Hold tightly." If you were napping, you wake up. It was loud enough.
Okay.
Do you hold tightly?
Yes.
Sure do.
Yep.
Okay. He gives this warning, and certainly his descent begins quickly, but he knows better than to dive at maximum speed. You find that you need to hold him to avoid falling, but his descent is controlled enough that it's not a big issue. He seems to understand how to move properly with people riding him. You watch the town of Windyboro quickly grow in size as you approach, and then your stomachs drop suddenly as he pulls up and veers off away from the town into the woods. He pulls up just above the tree line, then he beats his wings slowly as you all fall into the tree cover. His body meets the ground as gingerly as you assume that he can, still shaking the trees and generating a loud thud. And he carefully sets Lily onto a soft patch of taller grass, and then lowers his body to the ground and stretches out as flat as he can. He speaks in what you gather is the quietest voice he can muster, and says, "I apologize, my friends. We must walk from here. It would not do for the citizens of Windyboro to learn my truth tonight as well. Take a moment to stretch your legs, and then we must move to the temple."
Okay. I'm gonna try to get off the dragon.
Okay.
Yep.
You can get off the dragon.
Oh, okay. Great.
He is like flattened himself like a cat against the ground. You can, follow his tail down or something like that. You can get off the dragon.
Okay.
Nefnir also just off the dragon.
Okay. I assume
Okay.
everyone's off the dragon then.
Yeah, I think without like realizing it, like what's the word? Subconsciously,
Mhm.
as Lena like kind of slides off the dragon, she gives it like a pat a few times, and then just and realizes what she does, and doesn't say anything and just walks away.
That's funny.
When you pat him, Yenben goes, "Ooh." No, he doesn't. He doesn't do that. Oh, nice. Mmm.
No. Make him stop.
He waits for you all to disembark, and then you watch as his body begins to glow with that intense bright light once more. But instead of reaching its past intensity, it instead dissipates this time, leaving him in his gigantic form. And the dragon lightly pounds his fist into the earth in frustration. Damn. This complicates things greatly. It has been almost a century since my last full meal, and I lack the energy to shift my form.
I'm sorry. We haven't eaten in a century.
Yes, it is not a simple task. My metallic brethren and myself do not consume flesh or other organic things. We eat, well, to use the common parlance, treasure. I do have a stockpile of in my lodgings in the temple under the floorboards, and he looks at Lena very pointedly
She
and
nods.
says, I hoped to avoid consuming those as they are my personal favorites, but it appears I was not meant to collect with my current duties. And he looks to you with an expression of guilt that's actually easily seen. Even with hard dragon features, you can see he looks guilty, and he says, My friends, I cannot stay in this forest in my current form for too long. It's too easy to be found. It's early morning. They will be out hunting soon. I must ask you to go in my stead and bring my treasure to me. I have a cart in back of the temple that you once returned our people to the village in, and you can use my horse in the stables to pull it if it becomes too heavy to pull yourselves. It should prove enough energy to improve this sorry sight before you.
Okay.
All
How
right.
much exactly will you need, Yenben?
Say it again.
How much exactly will you need, Yenben?
I will need as much as you can carry.
Fair enough.
So we're gonna go get gold and bring it to him, and he's gonna eat it.
That's what he said.
Oh my god. Okay.
He looks at Lena and says, I believe you somehow know where it is.
Yeah, I know exactly where it is.
We
In the
will speak of that later.
Mm. It's in the corner, right?
It is in the corner.
All right.
And
Well,
he motions at Lily's unconscious body with his big head and says, fear not for your friend. I will keep watch over her. No harm will come to her while I'm here.
thank you.
And he curls one claw in slightly and lifts his arm and brings it toward you, Lena, and says, remain still. And the dragon closes his eyes and gingerly brings this claw to rest against your forehead, and an image appears in your mind. A long path through the woods that enters the village of Windy Boro from behind the temple. You now understand how to get there from here.
Wow. All right.
Is that what Lena just goes, oh, wow, all right.
No.
She says, wow, Yanben, damn, okay.
Damn, boy.
Okay. So he's just looking at you expectantly now.
Yes. Yes. Let's go. Let's go.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's follow the map.
Follow the map, follow the Lena. She is the map. As you make your way out of this little clearing, he kind of raises one claw and waves.
No.
Bye.
Yeah.
He goes, bye. And you start making your way through the woods. The forest is very quiet this early in the morning. It's very peaceful. There's a sudden flurry of motion on the other side of a few trees, and you watch a few deer dart away. And this is the only activity you come across as you make your way following Lena's lead. The village comes into view, and you find yourself directly behind the temple that you visited not that long ago. Oh, here, why don't I do this? Boop. The thing changed. Now you're there.
Wow.
What?
It changed.
Yeah, I moved the little pointer on the map.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah.
We're now at Warner Brothers.
Yep.
You're now at Warner Brothers Pictures lot.
You-
This is now turned into a 4-hour session. We're now going to watch Zack Snyder.
Please no.
Let's see. So you arrive. One point of order. You have now been awake for a long time. Plus, you fought a hard battle when you should have been sleeping, and you're starting to feel fairly exhausted. So I will need you all to roll me some Constitution. Constitution. Ah, shit. Is it Constitution saves or Constitution checks? Do you remember, Kim?
Think saves.
It is saves, isn't it? Right?
Think so.
Why don't you roll some Constitution saves?
Oh no, I rolled it as a Chutaman.
Oh no, Achutaman's so tired.
Oh.
Let's see. Okay. So, Lena, I guess you're still kind of buzzing with the adrenaline. You're focused, you're intent. Nefmir and Achutaman, the two that were nodding off.
No,
This is
that. That's that. Unless you're gonna let me roll again.
no.
Okay.
Nefmir and Thought. It makes sense because you were the two that were nodding off on this dragon, and you just weren't getting that sleep that your body so desperately needed. You are both feeling exhausted, and in technical terms, that means you currently both have one level of exhaustion, which means that you now have disadvantage on all ability checks.
Oh no.
So that means like not attacks, not anything like that. But if I say, roll a persuasion check, do a stealth check, something like that, all of those will be at disadvantage.
Right.
Okay.
Underhands.
Yeah, wunderbar. Underhands. Okay. So you're really starting to feel that exhaustion kind of set in, after this trek through the woods, you're starting to come down a little bit from the adrenaline of the fight, the adrenaline, the tension of, riding on a dragon, I guess.
Yeah.
And now you have to do physical activity again. You're pushing yourself through these woods, and it's getting rough. You're getting pooped.
No.
And whether that, becomes relevant, we'll find out. So, how do you enter the village? You can see the back of the temple from where you are. You're still in the woods.
Let's break a window in the back and jump through it.
What?
I'm kidding.
That was surprising. That was actually surprising. There is a window in his private quarters that you can see in the back of the temple.
He would never do that.
Oh, we should have asked if it was unlocked.
I'll just I'll just exercise that. I will do a general perception check right now.
Okay.
Not specifically like around the temple-ish area. The
Sure.
temple-ish.
The temple-ish.
The temple? Oh no.
You think to yourself like, oh wow, I should really be like, paying attention. And you start looking around the temple, and the first thing you see at the temple is there's this nest of baby birds that sits right on the top corner of his quarters in the back, and you just get lost in it. Oh my god, they're so cute. Oh my god.
Wow, really?
And you miss everything else. You forget to to continue looking around because you immediately lock in on those baby birds and they're just really tickling you right now.
I'd like to see if any people are around or awake.
Let's see. Why don't you do a perception check as well? Okay. With that, you can see, let's see, across the street from the temple, like you guys are behind it. Then there's the front of the temple, and then across the street from the temple, and one building to your right, there is a bakery, and you can see one man who is entering he's kind of unlocking the door to the bakery, getting started in the morning.
People are awake.
It's it's still very, very early. The town itself is like silent. There's no sound whatsoever. But that guy is up.
Mm.
And you know that
Well, fuck
bakers
that
get
guy.
started very early in the morning.
Hmm.
Yeah, fuck that guy. So you go kill him?
No.
Assassinate?
No.
Yeah, this is the
I'm not
new
good at
thought.
that.
Yeah, he's gonna assassinate a baker.
He's really bad at that though.
He's gonna assassinate a baker so that he can steal a cleric's gold.
Not steal. Retrieve.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. One other thing. You can see the cart that he mentioned is also in the back of the temple, just sitting there. You do recognize it. This is one of the carts that they hauled away the citizens of Windy Borough in the first place, and one of the carts that was used to bring them back.
Right. Hey, so out of character, this is a temple. It's not weird if we just go in, right? Like it should be open, right?
Who knows?
Okay.
It depends on the temple. Like you know that the cleric is not in there.
Mm-hmm.
And you can assume that he has not been there for a little while.
Shit.
Well, should we just like try to get in through the front door? Why would it be
Might as-
locked? It's a
Well, let's see. We don't know until we try.
Okay,
You guys good?
is that the plan?
Yeah, I don't know what else we would do.
Going through the back window.
He would never do. So,
Okay. So then you go around the side of the building, and as you move onto the main street, you do see that it's empty still. It's just starting to like light is just starting to really fill the area. It's starting to look closer to morning. But still, the only lights on that you can see as well, like in a home, in a building, is in that bakery across the street, where the guy now is inside. And you round to the front, and you check the door to the temple hall, and it is unlocked.
Oh, now we'll just go
nice.
in.
Yes.
Okay.
Indeed.
You walk inside. Do you close the door behind you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. You go inside. You close the door behind you. Oh, did you do anything with the cart? You just left the cart?
It's just in the back, right?
Yeah.
I mean, his private room's in the back of the temple. I think it'd
Yeah.
be better to haul the stuff out through the back window and into that cart.
Okay. Let's see. So you go into the temple, close the door behind you. As you make your way toward the back, you notice something. Inside the hall, you find Timmy Tim,
Oh God.
and he is sleeping on one of the pews. His pack is open on the ground next to him. He has a sleeping roll unfurled on top of him, and there are several empty bottles on the floor next to him as well.
The
And he
sleeping
is
roll is on top of him,
yes,
so he's
and
not
he
sleeping
is
on it.
no, and he is snoring,
Oh my god!
which
What is
is
he doing in there?
sonically something that I'm not going to try to reproduce.
Oh,
What
okay.
does Timmy Tim sound like when he's snoring?
I don't know.
Terrifying, probably.
Yeah.
So he is there. He is sleeping. Do you just walk by?
Think I like look at him for like a full second or two and then just walk by.
Okay. The others too?
I'm definitely not going to try to wake him up.
And
Nefmir
Nefmir?
does his own version of a side eye and just kind of keeps going.
Okay. Are you trying to like sneak by, or are you just gonna wander by?
I'm sneaking for sure, or attempting to.
Okay. Anyone who's trying to be quiet, go ahead and roll some stealth checks.
I'm just casually walking by.
Okay. Oof.
Wait. I have disadvantage already because I'm wearing
Yes,
heavy
you do.
armor.
Yeah, so
does that
actually, it
mean-
doesn't matter. Yeah.
Okay. I don't
Yeah,
do it.
that
I
one's the
don't
same.
do it twice.
No, you don't do it twice.
Okay.
So here's how this looks. Lena enters the temple and sees Timmy Tim and like drops into a crouch and begins moving carefully past him, trying not to wake him in your sneaking mission. And then follows behind her, drops to into a crouch stance, and when he drops into this crouch stance, his armor goes clang, and he shuffles by, clank, 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 and then Nefmir just walks by, clump, 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 floorboards creaking, and he, let's see,
He can't wake up. He's drunk.
yeah,
Wait, for real?
he doesn't move.
Oh, thank God.
So you find your way to Yenben's quarters, and this door is locked.
Hmm.
Where's Whitmore?
You right?
Nice. He showed up. Can he
No.
unlock it? Oh, damn it.
I'm going to look around for some kind of spare key.
Okay. Why don't you do an investigation? Okay. Let's see. Yeah. Let's see. Boy, let's see. Where would it be? You kind of start searching across the room, and you look into the whoops. There's an actual church word for where the priest stands and delivers from that I don't remember. Do you guys know what
Pulpit?
that's? Pulpit. Thank you. I mean, it's not a church word, but it's good enough. Yeah. You wander over the pulpit, and there are a few. There are a few holy books of Paylor that are sitting there, and a few other random knickknacks. And you look underneath it. There's a little shelf in the hollowed out space, and there's a few things in there too. And one of the things is a key that, if you try, it will work.
I try it.
And it works.
Oh my God.
You can assume that, there's not really. This is a smaller than small town. The local cleric doesn't have a whole lot to fear from his people stealing his shit.
I hope not.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good work. The door is open. And Lena, it looks exactly as you remember it.
I only open it partially in case someone else walks in like at that moment, and I
Okay.
hustle them in.
Okay. You are all hustled into Yenben's private quarters, uh, and you close the door behind you,
Yeah, and I lock it.
and you lock it. Okay. Um, so, Lena, you know what this room is. Um, the rest of you, you might find it a bit surprising that it's not a big quarters. You know, it's a cleric's quarters attached to a temple. This is very well what you'd expect. The image is, you know, um, not much. It's a very uh, simple living, right? When you live as a cleric in a temple, it's a simple life, the bare necessities, etc., etc. It's a small room. The bed is very simple. The desk is very simple. But what stands out immediately is that the walls are lined with shelves, and the shelves are packed with extremely fine treasures. These are like antiques. Even without a trained eye, you can see that some of these things are incredibly old, beautifully detailed. They are, without a second glance, extremely special, and they're just packed into this room. This tiny cleric's room is lined to the top with these beautiful antiques.
He's going to he's going to eat these?
Not these ones. I'll take him to the floorboard. Before we open the floorboard, I want to try touching like the wall in the corner, see if it still does the wiggles.
Okay. You touch the wall in the corner. Why don't you do an Arcana check? Okay. Um, you touch the wall in the corner and nothing happens, but you get a little sense of the familiar energy. Just a little bit. Like
Okay.
remnants.
Okay. And then she just shakes her head real quick and opens up the floorboards in the corner of the room.
Okay. You watch as Lena just sort of like tentatively touches the wall in the corner, just for a moment, and then drops to her knees, and she grabs just a tiny little loop of fabric that you might not have even noticed otherwise, sticking out of the floorboards, and pulls on it, and a trap door opens into the floor.
What?
Is it full?
It is exactly as you remember it.
How did you know that was there?
I don't know.
What?
I thought it was a dream. I had a dream about this place,
Oh,
but maybe it wasn't.
I see.
Here, Nefnir, open that window. Thought and start loading this up into that cart.
Okay.
So someone's
When
going out the
Nefnir
window.
opens.
Oh, sorry.
Nefnir,
So one thing, like Lena knows what's in there. When she opens it up, you can see there is like this is just sort of the entry into a crawl space underneath the temple, but this crawl space is packed full with gold, with silver, not just money, with things like goblets and silverware and just gorgeous, valuable things, just packed to the top underneath the floorboards.
Wow.
So who's going out the window?
Well,
If necessary,
presumably.
I will go out to bring the cart
How
closer
high
so
up
we
is
can.
that window?
What was that?
How high up is that window exactly?
Oh, it's, let's say, 3 feet off the ground.
Seems pretty easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I've opened the window, and yeah, I'm just primed to. Is the card directly beneath the window?
No.
I'll hop
Okay.
out and go get it.
Okay.
Bring it right up to the window.
Okay. You can just sort of, there are some, it's meant to be pulled by a horse, but you can just grab onto the wooden supports that would attach to the horse, and pull it over. There's nothing in it. It's not that hard, and you can arrange it right below the window.
If I hold my sword aloft, can I have the strength of a horse to pull the cart?
I don't know. We'll have to find out.
He said there was a horse, right?
Yeah.
Wait.
He said that you could use his horse from the stables.
Oh shit! But then that means we have to go to the stables. Well,
If
anyway,
you'd like to.
let's load up the cart first, I suppose.
Okay. So you start carting. How are you moving? Like there are gold pieces and things too. Are you just grabbing handfuls?
I don't know.
That's gonna take some time.
We could just stuff all this in the bag of holding and then just dump it on the cart.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking with the coins. Like maybe we could scoop them into it.
How many blankets are on the bed?
2.
We should have one blanket on the bottom of the cart, so none of the small pieces fall through or whatever, and we'll use the second blanket to put it on top, so we're not just openly hauling a bunch of treasure.
Yeah, that wouldn't look great, would it?
Not so much.
I think it looked pretty cool. Actually,
how do we manage the if we use a bag of holding? How do we manage it so that we don't lose any of our stuff in the pile of treasure from our own bag of holding? I also don't even know what the hell's in there at this point.
Dump the bag somewhere, and then you can just use it to scoop, I guess.
Use it to scoop.
That's fair. Yeah, let's just kind of pour. Is there a spot in the room where there's really not anything piled up?
The bed.
Okay, yeah. Let's dump all of our stuff on the bed. Never mind. It's just why don't we just pour out the contents on the bed?
this
Sounds
is
good. Take those
probably
blankets off first.
one of the weirdest things I've ever done.
This is the weirdest thing you've ever done?
One of the weirdest things.
Out of everything we've been together, this is the weirdest thing.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
So just for your reference, according to the actual sheet, the only thing in the bag of holding is 2 moonstones, 1 citrine, 1 carnelian, 1 onyx, and 2 loaves of bread.
Once we eat all the apples.
Also, a buttload of copper and silver.
I feel like we've really been underutilizing this thing.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, I don't have that much to put in it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's fair.
We haven't exactly been looting or dungeon delving,
Yeah,
so.
true. Usually when I give you the option to loot, you don't do it, so. But I assume, you're holding on to I don't know, where'd you put Alexander?
Well, he's around Kim's neck, right?
Oh no, he is not.
No? Oh, I thought he was.
If he's around Kim's neck, we have to have a chat.
Where is Alexander?
No. He's in with my stuff, I think.
Okay.
But not around my neck.
Okay. Also, there's the scale, the flower from the tower. Right. There's a bunch of money in there.
The scale and the flour are in my inventory.
Okay. Well, in any case, you can dump out your loaves of bread onto Yenben's bed.
Okay.
A few stones and loaves of bread come tumbling out onto his bed.
Yeah, when those treasures come out, I think like Lena has like forgotten about them, and she's like, "Should we give those to him to eat?"
I thought you were talking about the bread as treasures.
No.
Look, when those treasures come out.
All of the gems.
Yes.
I don't know.
I
Can he eat that?
Can he not?
I don't know how this works. I've never met a dragon.
Me neither, believe it or not.
Well,
Well, we'll put those on separately. Just keep scooping.
Keep scooping.
okay.
All right.
I'm digging stuff
Yeah.
out of the hole and passing it to Nefmir through the window.
Okay.
And then I guess we'll just do that until we have.
So you're
Oh, hey.
scooping with the bag of holding.
I'm putting
that what's
coins
happening?
into the bag. Everything else I'm passing through the window.
Okay.
I've got a question about this cart. Is it closed on all four sides, or is it one where
Yes.
only are closed?
Yeah, it's got low walls on all four sides, or low siding, I should say.
I wonder how much we can put in this before it just breaks.
The cart.
Yeah.
Let's see. I mean, it's a sturdy cart. It's not a huge deal at the moment.
Okay.
I'm concerned with. Let's see. Oh, 50. It's 1 pound. Okay, it should be fine. Go ahead. I was wondering, the bag of holding has a weight limit, so I was wondering if you're just putting coins in there. I think it should be okay,
All right.
but I think I'll make the call that the coins are going to fill the bag of holding completely.
Okay.
Just the coins. So all of the other items and things you're going to have to handle,
Right.
or vice versa. If you want to put whatever, I'm telling you that all of the coins will fill the bag. You can still make your own choices, whatever you'd like. And it's interesting. It's an interesting sensation. At some point, you've been scooping these coins, scooping the coins. It's taking forever. There's so many fucking coins, and you're just hauling them into the bag of holding. And then at some point, it just doesn't go in. It just kind of bounces out. You put another one in, it just goes ping, flies out again.
Okay. Then I pass the bag out the window so that Nefmir can dump it into the cart.
Okay.
I mean, if all
Nefmir
that's
dumps it.
wait, if that's all that was in there, with like, I'm sorry, if the bread and the gems were all that was in there, we could just carry those in our own pockets and carry the bag of holding with all the coins in it as is, and not have to add that extra weight to the cart.
Yeah, I guess we could do.
Makes sense. Because yeah, you get the sense that it is a massive amount of coins, hundreds of pounds of coins. So it would get very difficult to pull if you emptied all of these coins onto the cart. Whether it could carry all of these things is one issue, but you know that it would be very difficult to pull this cart with hundreds of pounds of just coins in it, let alone the other things.
Hmm.
So don't dump the bag.
Okay, we won't dump the bag.
We'll carry our own shit.
Okay. Even the bread?
Even the bread.
I've got a backpack. I can put a loaf of bread in my backpack.
I mean, fuck it, we're all tired. Let's munch bread while we walk.
Oh my god.
It is extremely stale bread. Enjoy.
Let's toss this bread into the woods and just get the fuck out of here.
Okay.
All right, so I'm just gonna say, unless. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Nefmir hands a loaf of bread to Thought and says, "Chuck it."
And says, "Chuck it." Is that what you said?
Yes, that's right.
Oh, okay. I'm inside the room. What am I? You're
He is inside,
outside. You're the one outside.
Nefmir just says fine, and then he just reels his arm back and just prepares to throw a piece of bread outside into
You
the
can
woods.
go ahead and roll a strength. No, athletics. Super.
Damn.
You kind of it crumbles a little bit in your hand, and I don't know. You don't throw a lot of stuff. It doesn't go very far. It just sort of like flops weakly into the bushes, just outside of the temple.
Fine.
That's where it lives now.
Nefmir still seems pretty proud of himself.
Okay. So after a while of kind of scooping, changling all of these coins and goods and
Changling?
whatnot.
That's
Changling,
not
that's
a
the
word.
sound. Like changling.
What are you doing?
I can say whatever the fuck I want. I'm the
Okay.
wordsmith.
Oh,
I-
all right.
The changling, it keeps happening. Changling just keeps happening. And after a while of doing this, it takes a long time. There's a lot under there, and it's kind of awkward to get to. It's under the floorboards. You're kind of eventually you're down in the crawl space, and you're kind of like down kind of on your chest, and you're kind of scooping the coins over toward you and stuff like that. It takes a while, and it's noisy. It's a bunch of metal clanging against itself and whatnot, changling, if you will. And eventually you hear the doorknob turning. Not turning, it's locked. But you hear someone trying to open the door. And when it doesn't open, when it can't open, you hear a knocking on the door and you hear, "Hey! Who's in there?"
Gods no.
I'm going to cast Disguise Self and be Yunben.
Okay. Go ahead.
Do that,
You do that.
and I'll hop back the window.
Okay. Oops, sorry. That was fucking close, Kim. Okay, you are Yenben.
Okay. And I'm going to when I'll have Thought and Nefmir get like, I don't know, situated so it doesn't look like close that door and stuff like that, right? Like close
Okay.
Close what?
close the trap door,
Oh, okay.
cover the jangles.
The Changlings.
And I will open the door and I'll try to do my best Yunben impression.
All right.
And
You open the door and you see Timmy Tim standing there. He is what? He's swaying a little bit. And his eyes are unfocused,
mhm.
but he's standing there and he is holding his shoe out in front of him as a weapon.
Mm.
as a weapon.
As you open the door, he kind of lowers his arm a little bit and says, "Yeah, Yanben! I was watching the temple for you. When did you get back?
What have you been doing in here?
Who are you?
Thought.
What? Thought? Oh, my good friend Thought, when did you come back?
Oh, no. You get out of here now. You don't belong in this temple.
What? I belong anywhere I please.
You've been...
Thought. The Temple of Palor has a place for everyone.
All right, roll a performance check. What the fuck?
Damn, okay.
Lena, the student of what? Personality and speech. My goodness. He turns his attention back to Yenben and says, "Yeah, see, Thought, yeah."
I'm so sorry. I did not notice. Were you sleeping here?
I was. I figured someone should watch the temple while you're away. So I opened the door. I didn't break the lock, and I opened the door, and I decided to have a little sleep while I waited for you to come back.
Thank you. That is very considerate of you.
Oh,
It is still quite early. Why don't you sleep for... Oh, hold on a second. Why don't you go to sleep, and we will discuss this at a more appropriate hour.
Why don't you roll a persuasion check?
Yeah, give me a second. I accidentally left roll 20.
Oh
What?
my god.
How'd you do that?
I was scrolling, and apparently it decided I pressed the back button. I do not have to roll persuasion check because I'm gonna do suggestion.
Okay, all right. That was another very close one. I don't know, you guys gotta get on Lena's level. She's been rolling super well. Everything's been going very well for her lately.
It's fine, she's the carry.
She's the carry. I say that, and oh wait, that's right. You don't need. I was waiting for the persuasion check. No, okay. So you go tell him to lay down. What's the? Was it a wisdom save?
Let me see.
14 again. Wisdom save. Okay. He his eyes glaze over even more than they were before, and then he kind of like shakes his head a little and says, "Wow, did you just use magic?"
You seemed unwell.
Oh my god.
Now you can roll a persuasion check.
That's fine. Just a sec.
It's no fun if everything goes the way you want it to. he seems to consider it for a little bit, and he kind of like looks off to the left and nods seriously, and as he's nodding he kind of loses his balance and stumbles back a little bit, and he goes
I say, you see?
I suppose that I could use a little more sleep. If it pleases the Yenben, I would return to my slumber.
Yes, I believe that would be best.
All right, good night. And he wanders off back toward his bedroll.
Oh my god.
Does he
And
conk out?
you watch him go over to the bedroll, and he grabs it and he starts to sort of like arrange it nicely, sort of fluff it up, and then he puts it straight over his head and down to his legs like I don't know, like a body bag, and then he just falls over.
Okay, let's lock the door again.
Okay. Door closed, locked, and now, if you'd like, you can finish loading the cart with the treasures.
Good thing he's so drunk.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we do that.
You do that. Okay. By the time you've finished loading the cart, it is now, a regular morning time. You can hear more commotion outside. Not like a loud commotion, but, people are starting to get up and move around and whatnot. And the cart is full. Are you all going out the window?
Absolutely.
Yep. And we'll close
Okay.
it behind. Make sure
Okay.
everything's like closed and covered and stuff like that.
Okay. And you're putting a blanket on top of the treasure?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So that's all set. You have a cart full of treasure. Now you can try to pull it. The bright side is the hundreds of pounds of coins currently weigh 15 pounds. So that's
cool.
nice.
Yeah,
That's pretty
nice.
good, right?
Yeah.
Where is the stable?
It's you know where it is. You got horses from it last time. It's down the street a ways.
Mm-hmm.
When you chased the necromancer, you got horses from the stable. So you know where it is.
Right. Thought knows where it is, but I forgot. where it
It's
is.
not relevant. It's down the street.
Okay.
I mean, I guess it's relevant if you want it to be relevant. It's down the street.
Yes. Should we go get a horse? Like, will people see us?
I mean,
At this point, you will be seen if you go down the main street.
Yeah.
hmm.
If you'd like to try pulling the cart, you can.
Let's
Yeah.
try pulling the cart first. Pulling and pushing.
Whoever is doing it can roll I'll say athletics. I'll be generous.
If we're all
Is it-
doing that, does that mean that we're
Yeah.
helping each other so that I don't have disadvantage?
I would say yes.
Okay.
But so here's your choice. You can have two people roll, or you can do it just a regular check. And Nefmir already has. So you can use that and make your decision. Do you want to roll and use those two averaged out? Or would you like to ignore that and roll once straight?
I can roll one straight.
I don't know. So wait, so if I do it with disadvantage, you're gonna average them?
Yes.
I think it would make more sense to do that then.
Okay.
I have better odds of one of the numbers.
Actually, yeah,
being
I'll
good.
just take the average of those, what I rolled right now.
Well, he
Holy
would take
shit.
the average of what you two rolled.
Right. So now
Oh,
15 and 13.
Oh, well, that's really bad.
But
Can I-
actually, but surprisingly, no, you can't.
Okay.
I'm gonna say that. I mean, I guess you could push from behind.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. You can roll two. Two people in front, one in the back.
This might not actually help. Nope.
I'm going to say that instead of lowering the average, it just doesn't help. It's not like she's pulling you or anything like that. Between the three of you, or more like the two of you, you can pretty effectively move the cart.
Okay.
It's not like an easy, it's not a light cart, but you can still push it pretty well. It's tiring you out. You're feeling it. You're feeling exhausted, but you're able to push it out. You can pretty effectively move this cart.
Okay. Well, should we just pull it to him then?
Yeah,
All right. I guess we're doing it.
because if we
Okay.
pull ourselves, we don't have to like stay on like the main road or anything.
Well, yeah, we're just going straight to him, right? Through the
Mhm.
forest? Yeah.
Yeah.
Get back the way you came.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Let's say that Lena's help is more directions instead of pushing.
That's
Okay.
that's very fitting.
All right. So you start heading out. And it's a bit rough. It's not like the ground is incredibly even. There are roots sticking out, and you have to kind of weave between trees sometimes. So it's slower going than your way here. Obviously you have a cart, but also, like I said, now instead of just a straight shot, you have to move around trees to find space to get your cart through and things like that. And it's tiring. You're both working up a decent sweat this time. It's all kind of starting to stack up on you. But you're pushing through. You are good workhorse boys. You're making it happen.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to use my sword. Oops.
That's right. You forgot to use your sword, but it's all right. You're doing it. You're okay. And at some point, the let's say out from the trees in front of you, maybe after you're maybe about halfway there, you figure. Out from the trees in front of you, a group of three men with bows and arrows step out and look at you, and they look very surprised and confused. But one of them steps forward and says, "Well, if it ain't the heroes, back to visit? How long you staying?"
Oh, hello. Yes, that's right. We're just we just came to visit for a little while.
Well, that's real nice. What brings you out?
Oh, well, we just finished some business down in Crossroad. So just yeah, just came up from there.
Well, that's a pretty long trek.
Yes, it took a while.
How long you gonna be around for? We're out. We're looking for some deer right now, and maybe a dragon or two. But once we're done here, maybe we can get some drinks this evening. We can have another party.
Oh, that would be lovely.
Great. Say, what you got in the cart?
Son of a bitch.
Helping me move some personal effects. Nothing to worry about.
What did you say?
They're just helping me move some personal effects.
Oh, where are you moving them to? You're not taking the road?
Damn it.
No.
Well, some of them are magical.
I was considering finding a place to set up a new temple for Paylor.
Out here?
A kind of little shrine, if you will.
You can.
For
go
those
ahead.
who are weary and can't find their way.
You can roll a persuasion check.
Oh my god.
Hmm. They're raising an eyebrow at that one.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Nefmir just kind of steps forward and says, "Look, I don't like a lot of attention on me. I asked these guys personally to take the way through the forest so we can just. We didn't really want to make any scene for ourselves or for you guys. I know you guys probably are happy to see us, but we kind of just wanted to get on with our business. So we're taking the road that's out of the way."
Not everyone is happy to see a tiefling.
Yeah,
Okay.
I get a little bit self-conscious about that too.
You can roll a persuasion check without disadvantage because it was sort of building off of the whole situation, and thought helped you a bit there. Just a straight persuasion. Okay. The two guys that are kind of standing a little bit back sort of exchange, meaningful nods with each other, and the guy in front says, all right, yeah, I suppose we can be a bit intense. Sorry about that. Well, yeah, we'll just leave you to your business then, I suppose. Just in case, y'all heard about the dragon though?
The what?
The dragon and the silver flames looking for it.
Whoa. What? I'm an acolyte of the Silver Flame. I've not heard anything of this.
Really? You haven't? Oh, I mean, have you been in town? Like you said, you were in Crossroad. Although I guess if you left Crossroad and came straight here, you might have missed the messengers. There's some men with the Silver Flame out in Nuval. What's looking for a dragon, I guess. Supposed to be a real big bastard. It showed up over Crossroad the other day. Did you missed it? I guess you must have missed it. They've been sending out riders all over the place to spread word that they'll be paying big coin for any reliable information about that thing's whereabouts.
Really?
Yeah. We heard a real big thump from out here in these woods a little while ago, and we ain't even that far from Crossroad, right? Figure it could be the dragon, right? As long as we're going for a hunt, may as well check it out and make sure we ain't leaving good coin on the table.
Oh, that is most peculiar.
Yeah, I don't know what they're up to, but I mean, dragons dangerous, and the Silver Flame, they're kind of in the business of dragon, right? So I suppose they're just keeping an eye out for dragon.
So what do I know about the Flame's relationship with dragons?
You know that there is no specific stance on dragon. Like I mentioned earlier in our little private thing, the Silver Flame as the spiritual force itself, not as the
Organization.
Thank you. Not as the organization. The Silver Flame itself was born of dragons sort of banding their spiritual energy together in a big sacrifice that created this force.
Right.
But
so does it track with me that they would be hunting a dragon? Like, does that make sense to him?
Let me see.
Or does it seem out of
I hadn't
place?
actually considered how would you say so you're an acolyte of the Silver Flame. How involved in the actual bureaucracy of it are you? Do you know did you pay attention, or would you have been involved in conversations about sort of the direction the organization is taking, issues involved, stuff like that?
If it was big enough for the priest of my temple to be concerned with. Like if it was a serious change, then I would have heard about it. But if it's just like normal office garbage kind of stuff or like higher ups, then no.
I think that then you probably don't know anything about any kind of dragon hunt,
Okay.
or anything like that. But I think what you would mainly be aware of as far as the organization's situation is, one, it's been disorganized for a while. For the past, especially in the past 100 years or so, things have been kind of going downhill, just leadership being fairly incompetent. And the other main thing that you would be aware of is the actual silver flame, not the actual, the sword that sort of represents the silver flame, that is carried by the sort of the representative, the representative paladin of the silver flame. This sword has not been seen for hundreds of years as well. There has not been a head paladin for a very long time.
Okay.
But those are the only big things that you would know. You don't know anything about them hunting a dragon or anything like that.
Okay. Well, he doesn't say anything more then.
Okay. So he, this guy just sort of, after talking about the dragon, he says, "So we're hunting. We're looking, off chance that there's dragon out here. We're gonna, leg it back to town and get ourselves some good money on that." But
I don't know if you'll be doing that.
Why not?
Well, you said it's a huge dragon. How are you going to carry it to town?
Oh no, we're not gonna fight the dragon. No. No, we're gonna see it, and then we're gonna fucking run, and we're gonna tell someone about it. And maybe if I don't think any of us could handle it. Maybe if Yenben's back in town, we could get him involved. Maybe he could fight the dragon.
Oh, I don't think
he could,
so.
Kind of do the pashur, a big magic chain the bastard and hold him till the flames come.
I am Yenben.
Oh, are you still Yenben?
Yeah, that's why I was saying that we
Oh,
were setting up a
shit.
shrine and removing my personal effects.
Oh, I totally
I
didn't get that
see.
at all.
I didn't get that at all either, but
I thought
how
Lena
long
was
does
doing
this
that.
guy's self last?
An hour.
Maybe
It's
these
been an
guys
hour.
just don't
You are not-
recognize Yenben?
You are not Yenben anymore.
Then okay, never mind all that then.
All right.
That makes a lot more sense now. I thought you were just like, yeah, I'm cool with Yenben. We're gonna set up a temple for him.
Yeah, I thought.
No.
Well, I don't know.
I thought still within an hour since Timmy Tim came in.
No, it's been more than that. But sorry, I didn't specify. So
Okay, well, in that case, Yenben is a pretty great cleric, but I don't think a single cleric could take on a dragon. It sounds very dangerous.
and you know our Yenben. He's a real powerful dude.
He certainly is, but all the same, I think they're legendary creatures, aren't they?
You know what? You know who could? Yenben and you three, the heroes of Windy Borough.
No, absolutely not.
How much does Nefmir know about dragons?
Everything that I said at the beginning here.
Gotcha.
That's all fairly, common knowledge.
I've almost died at least 2 times now. There's no way I could fight a dragon. That's absolutely ridiculous.
Well, I don't know how many people would want to do it by themselves, but you guys, all the what, four of you? That'd be pretty cool fight, I think.
Well, I certainly hope I don't run into a dragon on the way.
Well, if you do, and you don't want to fight it, you could always tell me, and then I'll go tell the flames, and I'll get some money.
I'll be sure to find you then.
Yeah. Although I suppose you're with the Silver Flames, it would be a lot easier to just, do whatever you do. To
Maybe
talk
so.
talk to your boys.
Well, I mean, I'm only an acolyte, and I haven't been to my temple in a while. I've been here, so.
That's why you don't know about the dragon.
Yes, I imagine that would be why. But anyways, I hope you get some deer.
Well, thank you. And I hope you well, whatever you're doing.
Not die. That would be great if you could.
Well,
hope for
I
that.
hope you don't. I hope you don't die. And
Thank
the two
you.
guys who haven't said anything yet, they both exchange meaningful nods again. And all right, bye.
Goodbye.
If they're walking away, and they say, "If you're in Windy Borough tonight, let's get a drink."
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And they cruise.
Oh, thank God.
All right. Good work on that one. Go ahead and you can cruise.
We do it.
You cruise. Let's see. Let's see. So eventually, you pull the cart into the clearing, and the dragon is where you left him, but not Lily. Lily is not where you left her, and she is nowhere to be found. The dragon raises its head and looks to you and says, "Thank you, my friends. I trust it went smoothly."
Yeah.
Smoothly is the word I would use, but it went.
He looks at the cart and says, There was more treasure than that. Did you not find it?"
Oh, it's in the bag.
"In what bag?"
Lena will open it up and pour it onto the cart dramatically.
Oh my God.
And the cart starts to buckle and creak as this never-ending stream of gold coins just starts pouring out of it and overflowing over the sides.
Wait. Maybe we should open it in his mouth.
Oh, chug.
Oh my God.
He says, "No. There is fine."
Where's Lily?
You ask, and it's at this point that Lily walks out from behind the dragon, and she
Hey,
looks.
am I still blue?
Say that again.
Am I still blue?
Yeah, you are actually.
I cast Disguise Self real quick to look not blue.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
I was thinking how good it would be.
We have the bean. Are you ever going to use the bean?
This isn't the spell failing. This is my magic going out. Well, it's different.
Okay.
Let's see. Boy, incredible.
I thought that was to fix the wild magic.
Nope. You've
Yes.
got to be fucking kidding me. I'm taking a picture.
Oh my God.
Uh-oh.
So, Lena,
Mm-hmm.
you cast Disguise Self on yourself, and quickly change your skin color back to normal. Yes?
Yep.
Just the skin color? You don't do anything about the markings?
Oh, everything. If I'm going to use a 3rd level spell slot for this, it's going to be everything.
Okay. It's a 3rd level spell slot? Jesus
That's all
Christ.
I have left.
Okay.
It's been all night.
You're blowing a 3rd level spell slot on just not being blue.
Blowing a 3rd level spell slot to look normal.
So, you quick, Lily walks into view, and you have a quick reaction. You quick surge this magic through your body and change your appearance to the way that you wish to present yourself. And I guess it was just that initial burst of panic, right? You draw on too much magic, and it starts to go out of control. And you have one chance to I guess it's random. Let's see. Um hold on. Let me see. There's 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. All right. So this time, um, you have to direct the magic somewhere, and it's much harder to control. It suddenly bursts out of you randomly, and it collides with Nefmir this time. And Nefmir, you find yourself floating off the ground.
Wow.
And you find that you are now able to fly.
Again.
Again. Nefmir, you can fly.
Lena's just
Nefmir,
like, is it obvious that he can fly?
He starts floating.
Right. Okay.
I'm sorry. We're just in the forest with. Yeah,
You're in the forest with the dragon and Lily and the cart full of treasure.
Lena's just like face in hands, embarrassed.
And you're still blue now.
Eh?
You're still blue.
No, it works.
Oh, it
the spell works.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
the spell works, and then there's a surge of magic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you changed your color, and your markings go away, and then this sort of concussive blast exits your body and rockets into Nefmir, which knocks him off of his feet, and he does not come back down onto the ground unless he chooses to.
I'm going to find a nice crook of branches in the general vicinity and just kind of float in there and then just have a nice sit.
You don't question this whatsoever. You're like, it's this again.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that is exactly my attitude towards it.
And you're not so interested in actually flying around, so you just go find yourself a nice little branch situation, and you have a sit like a bird.
Now he really
Like
is
an
an
owl.
owl.
Yeah, like an owl.
Oh no.
Okay. So Lily had started to walk out, and she looked around at all of you and raised her hand awkwardly to wave, and then Lily changed color, and her marking, or sorry, not Lily. Then Lena changed color, and her markings went away, and then Nefmir started to fly. So she kind of pauses and watches this whole scene play out, and then says, hello.
Hi.
Hi.
She looks at all of you and kind of glances at the dragon and says, so Aogilder here told me everything. He said that you two vouched for me, and she points at Lena and Nefmir up in the tree. He said that you two vouched for me even when I was trying to kill you. And she gives Aogilder gives the dragon another nervous glance and says, he made it very clear that I have you to thank, but thanks will not be enough because I owe you all everything.
What?
And at this point, she starts to kind of quiver, and this dam finally breaks, and these thick streams of tears start pouring down her cheeks, and she starts kind of wailing. You had every right to kill me and Aaron. By rights you should have. I betrayed you, but you saved him. You saved your enemy from an eternity of servitude to that thing, and me, you saved my life too. I owe you everything. And she looks directly at Lena as she says that, and then continues, I can never atone for what I've done to you, but you say the word and I will do it. I'm your servant, if you will have me.
Well, while I'm glad that you don't blame us, I think maybe you should. I mean, we're the whole reason that all of this even happened to you.
You didn't choose this for yourself either, though.
Well, maybe not, but I mean,
if I hadn't asked you to come with, you never would have had to endure any of this.
It's true. We're a damned lot, it would seem.
And if I hadn't tried to pet the giant elk, you wouldn't have saved me then either.
I
Lena.
still can't believe you did that.
She like her crying kind of quiets slightly, no more wailing, and she says, life just happens, and it's just what you do that really decides what kind of person you are. And I chose to try to kill you, and you chose to save me.
Well, I felt pretty guilty.
I think Lena starts crying now.
I mean,
She
if
looks
I had
at you and
tried to
says, wait,
kill
no,
you,
I'm sorry.
if I had tried to kill you after bringing this evil thing into your life, well, that would be just I couldn't live with myself for doing that.
We put you in a position that there was no. We put you in this position and there was no good choice to make.
Yes.
Every option available to you was absolutely the worst option you could take. So I don't blame you for any choices that you made, because you weren't left with any. Nothing would have been good.
Her lip starts to quiver a little bit, and she like kind of balls her fists and looks down at the ground and says, could you ever forgive me?
I was gonna ask that of you. For us.
And now she kind of her fists release, and she starts crying much harder now, but she looks up and she's smiling, and she just drops to the ground like whatever was keeping her standing, just the tension was keeping her standing. And she drops to the ground and she says, I'm sorry. It has been a very hard couple of days, and a lot of stuff has happened, and I'm feeling a little overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I think Lena starts crying a lot too.
Things have been pretty weird for, I don't know. How many weeks has it even been?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. It just
I
says
don't know.
that. Yeah.
You hear a voice from the heavens. I don't know.
What was that?
While you've been talking with Lily, the dragon has sort of gingerly uh, risen to his feet and sort of slinked around you. You know, not sneaking, just sort of trying not
To
to.
kill us with his feet.
Yeah, and disturb the conversation that's happening here. Just sort of trying to, you know, stay in the background, and he has sort of looped around behind you, and now all you see is just this long dragon neck extending out of the trees, and the head just face first in the cart, just sort of snarking up all of this gold and silver and whatnot. You hear, while between Lena's crying and Lily's crying, and behind all of that, you hear just metal crunching sounds, and
That is so weird.
are you watching him?
We'll say I noticed the sound and looked and confirmed that yes, he is indeed eating metal, and that is a very weird thing.
He when you turn to look at him, he sort of like pauses. Imagine like when you walk in on a cat eating, and it just sort of stops and looks. It doesn't move. It just sort of like moves its eyes and looks at you, like freezes in place. And he opens his mouth to speak, and a few like mangled silver spoons
Oh
fall
my
out of it,
God.
and he says, "I am very hungry."
Well, you said it was over 100 years?
Over, yes.
Well, I imagine you are probably pretty hungry.
And he nods, and he starts digging back in a little bit.
Yeah, I look away.
So, Lily is crying on the ground. Lena is crying across the clearing.
I'll go over by her, and I'll sit down.
She hugs you.
Oh,
I'm basically like above the scene right now,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm just gonna toss like a couple of gold coins just down into the cart.
Um, how about you do just roll a d20 for me. You're up in the tree, and you reach into your bag and grab a few gold coins, and one by one you start sort of tossing them toward the cart, and uh one lands a solid like 4 feet from the cart. Another one lands on the dragon's head, and he just kind of looks up, and it slides down his neck and onto the ground, and he looks up at Nefmir, just sort of confused, I guess, and then just nods slightly, and then bends over and takes that coin and eats it.
Oh my God.
Is there anything else you'd like to do while he eats?
Um,
I guess like once Lena's kind of calmed down a little bit, she'll tell the dragon that he is actively being looked for, and that we ran into people who are keeping an eye out for him.
yeah, I was thinking about that. Oh my
Okay.
God.
Sorry.
At that, he's almost finished eating, and he stops, and he looks at you, and he says, "I feared that would be the case. We must hurry." At that, he just sort of takes the entire cart into his mouth and crushes it, and swallows all of the remaining treasure along with the cart.
Oh my god.
Oh, one more thing. Do you know Timmy, Tim?
He sort of crunching cart, and he looks at you and he goes, "Mhm."
He's sleeping in the temple, and I pretended to be you. You'll have to talk to him later.
His crunching of the cart slows for a second. He goes, "Okay," and he swallows the cart, and uh, he let's see. Yeah, he swallows the rest of the cart, and then he looks around at the group, just sort of confirming everyone's good to go, and sees Lily still sort of lightly crying and has an arm around you, and he nods to you, Lena, and says, "She seems like a very good girl. I'm sure you'll be very happy together. We have no time to waste at the moment,
Wait, what?
however."
Yeah, that sounded
And-
like they were getting married.
I think Lena's face turns extremely red.
Not blue.
Not blue.
Yeah, Lily blinks in surprise as well and looks to you, Lena, but then is immediately distracted by the sudden intense light as the dragon's body glows and quickly shrinks down to the Yenben that you know. Lily watches in amazement, having missed this transformation the first time around, having been unconscious or dead, actually. Um, yeah. So he approaches you in his human form and says, "So, if anyone asks, I came to the forest to search for signs of the dragon, and I found you all instead. We are returning to the temple to speak on the subject at length, and we should like not to be disturbed. So let us be on our way."
Okay.
Lena stands up and reaches out a hand to Lily, but like doesn't make eye contact with her.
Lily just takes your hand and stands up. So he starts leading the way. You follow him back?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, and Nefmir, you can still fly for a little while. How are you following?
I'm just gonna kind of swoop down like an owl, feet first.
Okay. Do you walk or do you fly behind them?
Like
You can.
I guess while he appreciates it, he's gonna walk.
Okay. I was gonna say you probably don't have a whole lot of fly time remaining, so you might have learned from
Learn.
Lily's mistake.
It's less that and more so that he just doesn't really care.
Okay, sounds good.
Like, you know, he acknowledges it's kind of neat, but for the most part, it's kind of like, yeah, okay, whatever.
All right, so you follow Yenben back to the temple. Do you do anything on the way back? Anything in particular you'd like to do?
I would like to walk like a pimp.
Okay. Roll a performance check
Okay.
with disadvantage.
Yeah. Oh shit.
So what does Thought's pimp walk look like?
I don't know.
You put yourself in this position. You did this.
I know.
And now it's canon because you rolled.
I guess like he's just extending his legs really far with each stride and angled away from the body while his hands are grasping the cloth on his chest.
Okay.
As though he had suspenders on, but he does not.
Right.
And that's how he's walking for some reason.
Okay.
This is Thought trying to be like casual.
Yeah. He's exhausted. He's been through a lot.
Really tired. He's
following a dragon back to a temple.
Yeah.
After seeing this emotional scene with a woman who just tried to kill him, like what, 8 hours ago,
Yeah.
something
Yep.
like that. Yeah, you're just trying to act natch, and
He's just really out of it.
it's really coming together for him. I think Yenben looks back at you and just kind of has a puzzled expression on his face, but he doesn't question it, I guess.
I give him the
Just
most
keeps going.
bizarre smile.
Cool.
Akin to like when I first met Lena.
Okay, great. So aside from Thought's pimp walk, anything else you're doing on the way back?
Nethmir's gonna look around for edible fruits of the forest.
Okay, do a survival check. With
Am I
disadvantage.
still at disadvantage with that?
Yes, you are.
Oh.
Sort of following along the same story as earlier when you got distracted looking at the birds. You have the thought, like, as long as we're in the forest, might as well pick up a few, edibles. It's gonna be good. But your head's really just not in it. You just kind of keep getting lost in thought.
Stay
You
out
get
of me.
distracted. I was gonna say you get distracted by thought as well when you
Okay.
notice his pimp walk, and you start thinking about maybe how you're walking, how you look, and it's just you just kind of go off on tangents and just kind of forget to really pay close attention, and you don't find anything.
Okay.
Lena, anything on the way back?
I think I think she's also trying to like kind of play it cool, and she's like avoiding eye contact. How long is the walk to go back?
I think like an hour and a half or so.
At some point, she's probably gonna cast Disguise Self again.
Can you?
Why not?
Okay, no, I'm just asking, like, do you have the spell slots for it?
I have 2 third-level spell slots.
Okay, all right, go for it.
I do it.
Okay.
I try to be. I don't have subtle spell anymore because I'm out of sorcery points, but I try to be like cool about it. I try to be like not obvious that I'm using magic.
And yet you are like speaking, correct?
Whispering.
You're whispering to yourself, doing cool hand movements.
Subtly. At the very least, I
No,
don't
you're not doing it subtly. That would require subtle spell. You're doing cool hand movements.
I'm trying to
You
hide,
are
I'm trying
talking
to,
under your breath.
I'm trying to hide it from Lily.
Yeah, and you're doing. Oh, I mean, you can try. Why don't you do? Let's see. How about a sleight of hand check?
Oh no.
Yeah, it doesn't work. You are very obviously casting a spell, and Lily is standing right next to you. She's walking next to you the whole time, and she has felt awkward as well, especially since you are actively trying to avoid looking at her. Then at some point you start like doing like Naruto hand ninja signs and whatnot, and talking under your breath, and she says, "Are you doing magic?"
Yeah.
What are you doing?
It's nothing.
All right. Okay. She doesn't push it. Okay.
My my skin's still blue.
Okay.
Don't want to if we
I mean,
go into town and I'm blue, it's strange, right? Humans usually aren't blue, so I
I mean, there are a couple colors in this group now.
Yeah, there's 2 half-orcs now, and the tiefling as usual.
Yenben kind of looks back and says, Would you like me to take care of your blue skin?
Yes. Yes. Please.
Okay.
I don't know why it's blue.
I mean, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I wasn't going to say anything, but I noticed that it became blue when you revived your friend. But it is just skin deep, and it is just a matter of removing the magic. And he stops and lets you catch up, and he puts a hand on your forehead and casts Lesser Restoration, and your skin returns to normal.
Is that
Mark
before
it-
I cast the spell? Because I'm not blue right now.
I mean, she noticed you casting the spell.
Oh, okay. So does
So
that mean...
you did cast the spell,
Okay.
but he casts Lesser Restoration on you.
Okay.
So if you were to drop the spell, you would be normal again.
I see. I guess I'll put my veil back on and drop it just to check.
Okay. Yeah, and your markings come back.
Okay. She hides those.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, this is no problem at all.
What a wacky bunch.
What a silly bunch of people. All right, so you make your way back to the temple, and if you follow Yenben, he just circles around to the front of the temple, and he opens up the front doors, and Timmy Tim is sitting on the pew, and he is eating a plate of eggs.
Are they cooked?
They
Where
are
did they
cooked.
get
Okay.
eggs from?
And so when you open up the door, he kind of like turns around and in surprise, and he says, "Oh, Yenben, welcome back. Welcome back. Didn't I see you in your room earlier?" And he, Yenben, sort of freezes up for a moment and says, "No."
Oh my god.
And I suppose he should roll a check for that.
I whisper to Lily, have you ever seen him before?
And Lily looks over at Timmy Tim, and her face scrunches up, and she says, "Oh, this guy."
Oh, you do know him.
And she catches Timmy Tim's attention, and he lights up, and he just yells, "Lily! My sweet lily pad! Oh, I've wanted to see you again!" And he sprints for her, just sprints straight at her, and his arms are wide in an attempted embrace, and she... That's too bad. She makes a fist, and she swings hard, aiming for his jaw. But Timmy Tim somehow ducks under with surprising dexterity and collides with her, just wrapping his arms around her and burying his face into her chest. And he's just babbling about how much he loves her. And she grunts in anger, and you see her eyes kind of take on that rage that you've now been on both sides of. And yeah, she let's see. She lifts both fists in the air, sort of knots them together, and just brings down straight on his head.
Oh, jeez.
And he slides off of her like wet noodles on a wall and then hits the ground. And he does not get back up.
Oh,
And
is he unconscious?
he seems to be unconscious.
Oh my god.
She looks around at the rest of you who are all now, or at least I can't say for all of you, but Yenben's staring at her. And she is struggling to catch her breath with her rage. And she says, I really hate that guy.
I have to agree.
And
Although, I was not really going to beat him up.
she looks like she's going to respond, but she kind of takes a step back and sort of braces herself against the ground and presses both of her hands against her chest, and her expression is her rage is melting away into confusion and some fear. And she says, something's wrong. I feel something's wrong. Something's wrong with me.
Yenben, her.
Yenben moves to her and touches her face, then touches her neck and hesitates for a moment and says, excuse me. And he touches her chest, and his eyes suddenly widen, and he looks around to all of you and says, come with me right away to the front. He glances at Timmy Tim on the ground in the doorway and says, could you please gather him and leave him on a pew? Close the door.
Okay, I
I'll
pick
close
him up and not very gently lay him on a pew.
Okay.
Sort of unceremoniously plop him down.
Yeah. Yenben turns to Lily and just effortlessly lifts her into his arms like she were a child, and then rushes further inside. He lays Lily onto a pew toward the front, and he lays his hands on her chest again and says, something is wrong here. There's something rising within her, some kind of powerful energy, and I have no idea what it is. And the longer this goes on, Lily is now writhing in pain, and she's straining against Yenben's arms as he holds her down, and you've seen how strong he is, and he is struggling. And he looks up at you across the temple and says, Thought, grab her legs and hold them down.
Okay.
You can do a strength check with disadvantage.
Oh, no. I clicked on it. There it is.
Okay. Oh, no, a strength check. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay.
But that one's so much worse.
Yeah, it is. You are struggling. She is kicking and kicking hard. And it takes everything that you can to just basically lay down against her legs and push them down against the pew. And even then she's bucking you around like a bull. And
Nefmir sees the struggle and rushes over to try and assist.
Okay. Why don't you do a strength check as well? Okay. I mean, neither of you are well equipped at the moment to handle her struggling, but with each of you taking one leg, you're able to successfully hold her down. Between you two and Yenben holding down her shoulders, she is kept from hurting herself or anyone else. And while struggling to keep her down, Yenben is also, he's speaking words that you don't understand, and he's holding his hand on her chest and she just starts screaming. She's screaming and in pain, and she's writhing and bucking, and eventually, after a few seconds, Yenben releases her and says, "It's coming. I cannot stop it. Get out of the way."
Okay.
I'll back up a little bit, but I don't want to be too far away from her.
Okay. Yenben takes several steps back. How about the other two?
I will back away as far as he does.
Okay. And Nefmir?
Also backing away.
Okay. Let me see. I had to open something here that I forgot. Kim, roll me a D8, please. Again, this is just the best rolls possible. Great. Let's see. I think everyone in this room can feel it now. This magical energy that's emanating from Lily's body, and it's becoming greater and greater, and it starts to feel. Lena, you recognize this energy. It is very, very similar, if not exactly the same, as what you experience when you lose control of your magic. And her body suddenly rocks, like a shockwave bursts out of it, and the pew underneath her is destroyed. It just breaks into pieces, and everyone who is within 10 feet of her can roll a dexterity saving throw for me.
Oh, goody.
And that'll be also with disadvantage if you are tired.
That's a fantastic roll for me. Honestly.
It's pretty good. Thought and Nefmir, you are tossed onto your asses by the shockwave. Both Lena and Yenben managed to stay standing, even against the shards of wood that come breaking, splintering away from her. And that's when you notice that Lily is floating. And Kim, roll another D8 for me, please.
How'd you get a 4
okay.
twice?
Yeah, really.
These things happen.
And now roll a D6 for me. Holy fuck. Spectacular. Lena, you are still fairly close by, and you watch this happen while the others are tossed onto their asses. Along with that shockwave, something bursts out of Lily. From the base of her spine, large orange shapes just sort of grow from her, and they are big. And when you sort of catch your bearing, you get yourself, resituated against this shockwave, you see these deep orange shapes, roughly the length of her torso, bristling with fur. Lily has tails. She has big, bushy foxtails.
What the fuck?
6 of them. She has 6 big, orange, bushy foxtails now. all fanning out behind her like a peacock. And she is still floating. And she sort of rights herself a little bit and shakes her head, and she looks at her surroundings and she says, I feel a lot better now. I feel fine, actually.
You're okay?
And when you ask her that, she kind of blinks in realization that she's looking down at you. And she looks down and she sees that she's floating, and she says, I'm floating.
Again.
You said I didn't do it.
No. And she starts to move through the air. She's flying. And she starts smiling. She says, I'm flying. This is just me. I'm flying.
And you have tails.
And she stops and she looks at you and says, I have what? And she like kind of does sort of like a comical like spinning around in the air trying to look behind her, and they are large and obvious, and her eyes bug out, and they actually curl around to the front of her body. They move as far as they can anyway, and she takes a couple of them into her hands, and then she freezes and she says, I feel this. My hands, I feel them on my tail. I feel this. These are real. I feel these.
Yanben, what's happening?
He is just blank faced, mouth open. He doesn't stop staring at her, but he speaks. He says, unheard of, and yet now, the third time I've encountered this in my many years.
The third time, huh?
He looks at you and says, Lena, Leatrice, and now her.
Okay.
And
so she can do magic now or something?
Yenben finally breaks his stare away and looks at you and says, I have no idea.
Oh.
And meanwhile, Lily is still flying, and she just sort of like gathers all of her big bushy tails into her arms and says, they're beautiful. And they're soft. And she flies down to Lena and says, feel this.
I do.
They are spectacularly soft.
Oh my goodness.
Imagine the soft fur of the dragon's back and how comforting and warm and soft it was. These are actually softer. Just these perfectly poofy, fluffy foxtails. And fucking 6 of them.
Oh my god.
And Lena looks at Lily and says, you feel okay? You don't feel any pain?
She says, I feel fantastic. And she grabs you under the arms and she starts flying.
Oh, please don't do that again.
She pulls you up toward the ceiling, which is not that high. But she pulls you up toward the ceiling, and she just starts spinning around, and she's laughing.
Oh, by the flame.
Lena will start laughing too.
And so this is sort of the fade out here for the moment, anyway, of Thought and Nefmir climbing up off the ground in front of the shattered pew, while Yenben stares up at Lily, who is flying with 6 tails and spinning Lena around in a circle while laughing. And across the room, you hear a groan, and Timmy Tim pulls himself to his feet and looks up around the room and says, "What did I miss?"
Hmm.
Very good.